And Mr. President told you before that he doesn't go to social media to read anymore, that because they abuse the hell out of him. So as a result of that, Mr. President is not feeling the pulse of what is happening that people express online. So maybe on the street he will be able to understand it. So we should please provide security for the people to talk to him. We are his subject. We believe that he can do better if he listens to our pulse and know how we are feeling.
Okay. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the story. Don't go away.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. Pastor Tunde Bakare has expressed worry over what he described as an overbloated government, saying the numbers of civil servants must be slashed. Pastor Bakare, a former lawyer turned cleric, stated this on Sunday while discussing the importance of adopting what he termed the Jewish phenomenon in creating wealth in Nigeria. He said, the government cannot continue creating jobs. That is not their job. In fact, civil servants should be slashed. We have an overbloated government. It should be slashed, and let us empower our citizens to introduce them to the Jewish phenomenon. Everyone has a trade. So apparently in the Jewish phenomenon, everybody is a businessman. Everybody has something they are doing to earn for themselves. Now, Pastor Tunde Bakare is calling for trimming of civil servants. Over to you, Mr. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I thank him for adding his voice to the situation in the country and trying to proffer a solution. That is what all of us should be doing. All of us should be talking about at this point in time, just on what we are doing here. I support his call for the Jewish phenomenon, but I do not support his call for the reduction of what he termed overbloated civil servant or civil service. That is because for us to achieve an effective Jewish phenomenon, we need a good number of civil servants to drive the process. I take it this way again. For us to have adequate security in Nigeria, we need even more police officers. The challenges we are having today, if I should digress a bit to that area, is that we have less than 400,000 police officers policing over 200 million people. Is not sufficient. Now, the civil service, I know more ministries were created by Mr. President, like that of Blue Economy. He also divided the Ministry of Petroleum Resources into oil and gas, and a few other ones he added at a time that we are talking about reduction in the number of civil servants and civil service and what have you. Well, I know quite well that the ministries were increased in a way, but if these various ministries now can sit back, begin to create the Jewish phenomenon out of Nigerians, then they need even more hands to be able to drive that process. Plus or minus, those who formed the federal civil service may not be more than 20 million. Let me just put it that, at that level. If they are less than 20 million or about 20 million people in federal civil service in the various ministries, 20 million people trying to drive over 200 million people, because we are told that we currently have an estimated 223 million Nigerians. So let's say 23 on top is the federal civil service. Then the other 200 million we have, let's say about 80 million is in the private sector. Then other Nigerians are looking up to the federal government for job creation. Then we need more hands to be able to create this. And that is what we've been talking about. If you go to the Nigerian China, because I call the Igbo people of the southeast, Nigerian China. If you go there, see what those boys are doing with their hands, their skills, how they are driving it, and government can put money into it, we will develop the economy. If you set up structures across the 774 local government areas of the country, asking people that have skills, that needs development, to come and register and showcase their skills. You screen the skills, look at the feasibility study, look at which one is viable, and you are able to put resources into it. You'll be able to drive this process. But if we begin to cut force, we will not have people to do. We begin to ad hoc people who will be going about demanding for bribes from people that have skills before they can be supported. But if we have people that are already been employed, verified, and put in there, the ability of going into bribery and corruption in the process of selecting people that have these Jewish skills will not be much there. Not like I'm totally eradicated, but it will be reduced because they already have years of service they are put, and if they are found wanting, they will be removed, and that will affect them in terms of really being able to demand for bribery and corruption in that process. So I think that what government should do is to look inwards, look at how to develop the skills of Nigerians, and we can use those skills to create wealth for the country. And that takes me to one of the issues that has to do with what Bakare said in relation to youth in the Niger Delta who are involved in crude oil refineries. These boys have used their skills, go into the pipeline, store crude oil, refine the crude oil, and they could sell kerosene, which is DPK, PMS, and AGO, without building gigantic cost millions of dollars. That is something to develop into what they need to get, and then they can be able to make that skill to be useful to the country. And that's why we have told the federal government at Youth and Environmental Affairs, where I lead, that government should legalize artisanal refineries, legalize it, standardize it, modernize it, and integrate it into the national economy through a process we call the Presidential Artisanal Crude Oil Refining Development Initiative, PACOD. It is similar to what government have done in parts of the north and western Nigeria. For other youths who are involved in illegal gold mining, that they have legalized it for them through the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Development Initiative, PAGMI. That if they could do so, these boys will contribute to the economy, develop the GDP of the country, and we can have them creating jobs. Because Bakare particularly said that if the skills can be properly developed through the Jewish phenomenon that he mentioned, then you can have those people not only creating jobs for themselves, but also employing people. These are some of the things we need to do as a people. We shouldn't just be able to, employ people that will not just be able to create some of these jobs. So I think government should look and then try to develop the skills of these people to be job creators and then create jobs for other people.
Of civil servants, reduction of civil servants. You agree with me that we have good civil servants in this country?
Definitely.
A lot of good civil servants. Recently, the wage awards the government paid, the government came out to say they spent 40 trillion paying 3 months wage award. So in 3 months, 40 trillion has gone into remuneration for civil servants. Now, a lot of the remuneration are going to persons who are not known in the civil service. They don't come to work. They don't add any value whatsoever. Now, we also have duplicity of parastatals, where they do the same thing. So sometimes civil servants come to work, in the next 1 hour they are done with their jobs, they just stay in the office, they gossip, they sleep. So now when you look at it critically, the number of civil government is churning out so much money to pay monthly. Is it necessary? Don't you think it's actually necessary that the government should slash, the number of civil servants, remove the ghost civil servants, so that the expenditure on the side will be reduced?
Definitely. For you to remove the civil servants, you need to audit the civil service.
Okay.
Audit the workers, try to look at what they do, which function duplicates, who is doing less, and what have you. Then you can pick them out to see how you can be able to reduce who you want to reduce and who you don't need to reduce, and then redeploy others into what they can naturally do, because civil servants are not people you just outrightly sack. Even if some of them are not coming to work, there are things that needs to be done, like trying to meterize the timing of people coming to work and people that when they exit their office. If you can do some of those things and put some of those measures together, it's going to go a long way to address the issue of making sure that those who are being employed are doing what they needed to do. But in all of this, I believe that until we carry out an audit of the federal civil service are doing and what have you, then it's going to be difficult to just wake up one morning and say, okay, you are closing down this ministries. I know that there are ministries that are duplicated. Like me, I keep saying that the existence of the EFCC and ICPC pari passu, I don't know what is fundamentally different that the EFCC is doing that the ICPC is not doing. And I believe they also talk about the fact that they needed to merge the two agencies, but that has not been done. But I think there are things that maybe they saw there, but if they really want to collapse some of these things, we can do that. Remember President Buhari collapsed how many ministries? Urban and housing and what again, and urban or water, 3 ministries together. It also saw that it didn't work very well, and Buhari came and did some Tinubu came and did some separation. So the issues are there, but I think that if we can make the civil service to be productive, make them to be accountable, no matter the number they are, they can be able to address the issues of the remaining millions of Nigerians that look up to them for something good.
Okay, Mr. Gomba, you have something to say?
Yes, in this particular civil servant issue, a lot of things happen in that office because of they don't checkmate what is happening in that office. That's why people can come and do anyhow and go at any time they want. It's not, they are not organized. The total thing of what they are doing in River State, they are concerning the civil servant, they are not organized. They're supposed to organize, and a lot of fraudsters are going on in that office. Because what I mean by that is because of, as in the people, government is supposed to know that this one is not a civil servant again. They will still bring the person in that is a civil servant for them to achieve being those people who are head of office in civil servant. And all these things is a matter of them to understand that they are bringing some certain people back. And we don't want those things, and people don't want those things again anymore. What they need from the civil servant and what the civil servant need from the government is for them to checkmate what are they doing. Just Dr. Fanface is saying, what are they really doing that is making them not to come to work at the proper time and go back to their various houses at the proper time? They will not be able to do what they're supposed to do as a civil servant, and the government need to put eye into the civil servant. Then, at the same additional things that I want to say again concerning this oil thing. This oil that we are finding it difficult that the government cannot bring anything like development for some other area, which they're supposed to have place, but because of the way they plan their government that make them, they could not develop some place they're supposed to develop. And the oil field that we have and they have for some other area, the government refused to come and get some understanding with the people who owns the oil field. Because those people, the indigenous that owns this oil field in Niger Delta, they are not looking at them. They are suffering. That is the reason why many people who have opportunity, they're supposed to go into that opportunity they have, but no way because of bad government and bad leadership.
Okay. Right. Now, Mr. Fineface, you talked about entrepreneurship on one hand. Is the environment investor friendly?
It's not very investor friendly. The environment is not very investor friendly, and in fact, as I speak, a lot of companies are even relocating from Nigeria because the environment is not investor friendly. The cost of running businesses in Nigeria is expensive, despite the effort of Buhari to making sure that we have a business friendly environment. It's not happening because electricity is not there. We have how many million people, how many megawatts are we generating as a country? And again, you also have the very high cost of PMS AGO that these companies use to operate their plants. And then because of the harsh economic situation, headline inflation that we have, you know, whereby there's a general rise in price without a corresponding increase in the amount of goods and services provided and being produced, you have the cost of running the companies being very expensive. And as a result of that, a lot of people cannot go into businesses and entrepreneurship operations. A few that have been able to go into it are shutting down because even a local hairdressing and barbing salon, they are unable to afford PMS into their generator to operate their businesses. They are shut. It's not easy. So the situation is skewed as we currently speak, and the few we have been able to bring on board are all going down. So I believe strongly that government should make the environment to be friendly and then support businesses to grow so that we can generate money and grow the GDP and the country can be viable.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Fineface Dumnamene, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Honorable Gomba. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you very much.
This is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blowout on Atlantic Television Network. Do not forget you can stay connected to us on all our socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Ogu Laurentia Choma.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we